As I went out one evening by a river of discontent, I bumped straight into old Tom Paine. As running down the road he went. He said, I can't stop right now, child. King George is after me. He'd have a rope around my throat and hang me on a liberty tree. And I will dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dancing the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dancing the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. I only talked about freedom and justice for everyone, but since the very first word I spoke, I've been looking down the barrel of a gun. They say I preached a revolution. Let me say in my defense that all I did wherever I went was to talk a lot of common sense. I'll dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dancing the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dancing the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. He left me standing still, and there I was, piece of paper in my hand, standing at the top of the hill. It said, this is the age of reason, and these are the rights of man. Kick off religion and monarchy. It was written there in Tom Paine's plan. I will dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Well, old Tom Paine, there he lies. Nobody laughs and nobody cries. Where he's gone, how he fares, nobody knows, nobody cares. I will dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. Now dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones. Dance to Tom Paine's bones, dance to Tom Paine's bones. I'll dance in the oldest boots I own to the rhythm of Tom Paine's bones.
That's Sirens performing Tom Paine's Bones by Graham Moore, as sung by Dick Gaughan. I think most folkies will be familiar with that. Greetings, friends and fellow folkies, and welcome along to episode 24 of the Garden Sessions. I'm Jack Foster, and with me, they've just rode into the bothy. It's the folk scene's very own Lone Ranger and Tonto. I'm talking, of course, of Tom Harland and Dave the Angles Gimble.
Shotgun Tonto Angles.
Fair enough, fair enough. You can have the mask and stuff, and I'll have the horse and
no,
prestige.
No. Tonto doesn't have the mask.
Yeah, Tonto is the Indian dude, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna be the smoking the peace pipe. You can be the Lone Ranger.
You have to do all the dangerous stuff, Angles.
That's
Have
fine.
The mask.
That's fine. I get the prestige.
I don't know what it leaves me as. Jack Foster, anyway.
You can be the horse.
Tom, tell us a bit about Sirens. that we just heard there.
Yeah, Sirens features a girl we actually used to be in our school, Lilias Kinsman Blake,
Back in Kelso.
on flute and fiddle, Shona Mooney on fiddle and viola, Rachel Newton, harp, fiddle, vocals, Shona Kipling on piano and accordion, Olivia Ross on fiddle and vocals, and Laura Salter on mandolin.
What a lineup.
What a lineup. Yeah,
all-female
great
folky
tune.
band.
We've been listening to it all week. It's really nice.
And you can get to them on the web. I can't remember off the top of my head what the link is, but it'll be up on the website if you go to gardensessions.co.uk, where incidentally, if you want to contact us, it's podcast@gardensessions.co.uk. Angles, what's coming up in the show?
We've got Dave's Angle, Folkie News, featured artist, letters bag, and music as always.
The best in original songwriting and traditional folk music. Right, Celtic Connections is over. There's a wee bit of folky news coming up, I think, about Celtic Connections and folky news, but we've still got some stuff left over from that. Tom and Angles, when you were over there, you met up with Paul McKenna and his band.
Yeah,
we did indeed.
You're listening to the Garden Sessions, www.gardensessions.co.uk, and I'm slightly tipsy in the festival club with Paul McKenna, Dave McNee, and Rory McMillan from Paul McKenna kind of band fame. We saw them at Paddy Bortsby Folk Club, and I believe that at least David and Paul have been enjoying Kareen Polwart, as we have tonight, and Seth Lakeman. How did you find that tonight, boys?
Seth Lakeman, absolutely amazing. Best live act I've seen in ages. He's up for a nomination for BBC Two Folk, and he should win it, I think.
Certainly, I got him in here a couple of nights ago, and it just seemed like he was doing what we do as a band, as one person. It's great.
The Seth Lakeman stuff's getting played on Radio 1, which is the coolest thing I've ever heard. It's like he's writing songs about they're traditional songs because they're written about traditional myths and legends of, where is it? Dartmoor, at Portsmouth, and Devon. Sings about it a lot. But anyway, the fact that it's getting played on Radio 1 is
encouraging.
It's encouraging.
Episode 22 of the Garden Sessions was opened with David McNee's song that he wrote, Take My Hand. David's just on his mobile, but
no, I'm not.
If you can come up and tell us a wee bit about just that song, how
Take My Hand.
How that came about.
I was listening to a lot of Sandy Denny, English folk singer. Bit of a tragic story. Fairport Convention she sang with. Take My Hand, simple love song. That's probably the song I'm most proud of because a woman and man walked down the aisle to it in America, and that is my claim to fame. Somebody walked down the aisle to take my hand, and it was pretty touching, I have to say.
How exactly will you feel if the marriage goes sour, though? That's the question you've got to ask yourself.
You've always got to lower the tone, man.
Well, since I wrote that song, in fact, my wife's on the phone to me just now. And she is as well. Vicky, say hello. Take My Hand. No, it's a great song. I could not sing it, could not do it justice, and Paul has made it his own. He's tried, and it sounds brilliant.
And not maybe so much Rory, because he's always been a folkie, but we've played in the different genres of music and different styles, and never really been happy. I've never myself really been happy playing in all these different styles of music, then coming back and trying to get more rootsy. So we're just kind of coming back home to that style of music that we're more comfortable with, which was the reason for coming up with a name for the album.
And Rory, did you manage to check out the String Sisters in the end of the day?
Well, they've not been on yet, but fingers crossed.
You'll get
heart setting it.
And the rest.
And the rest.
Well, Paul, Rory and David, thank you very much for joining us in the Garden Sessions.
Cheers.
Paul McKenna's band there. That was a treat to be able to interview them. We saw them at Paddy Bortsby Folk Club. And featured their song Take My Hand in episode 22, I believe.
Brilliant song. And
good song.
A couple walked down the aisle to it in America. What on earth are you talking about, Angles? What do you mean, what, the marriage goes sour?
Angles. Always the pessimist.
Can't take him anywhere.
I can't help it.
Oh.
I can't help it. It's been a a hard, miserable life, Tom. I can't help but feel slightly bitter about it.
He was a liability in that festival.
Well, at least I wasn't drunk,
He was
Tom.
a liability.
Again. Sensing another New Year's montage on the go.
It's a folk festival. Anyway,
it's a lack of professionalism.
I believe we're now on episode 24 of the Garden Sessions, and
Yeah.
why don't we play another of Paul McKenna's band songs? This is called Lonely Man.
Lies dying on a cold icy bed, never thinking where he's going, and always thinking where he's been. He's remembering the good times and forgetting all the bad. But on his tombstone you won't read, he lies a sad and lonely man. But hold your head up high, it wasn't always going this bad. People loved you and respected, and no one even seemed so sad. All your friends have gone before you, and everyone seems dead and gone. But what about the only childhood that you think of on and on? And he's remembering the good times and forgetting all the bad. On his tombstone he won't read, he lies a sad and lonely man. But hold your head up high, it wasn't always going this bad. People loved you and respected, and no one even seemed so sad. But hold your head up high, it wasn't always going this bad. People loved you and respected, and no one even seemed so sad.
That's the Paul McKenna Band, Lonely Man, introduced by Tom there, who, with Angles, interviewed them all at Celtic Connections in the
Festival Club.
Festival Club.
Yeah.
They were talking there about some of the stuff they'd seen, Seth Lakeman included. I didn't get along to see that. You did?
We did. He was.
Well, we went specifically to see Corinne Paul, but
yeah, we just both assumed that it was a Kareem Polworth gig, but apparently it wasn't. It was a Seth Lakeman gig.
I think Corinne's awaiting a baby.
Wait, what are we saying that this was a Seth Lakeman gig and Corinne was kind of guesting on it?
No, Corinne was. We assumed Corinne would be headlining the gig, but and so it was Seth Lakeman who appeared to be headlining, which we were gutted at because we arrived a bit late for. We assumed he'd be supporting, but
honest opinion, what did you reckon to Seth Lakeman?
The chaps sort of seemed to say that he was particularly good. Now, he was an amazing fiddle player, really was a brilliant fiddle player, and had an amazing ability to be able to sing and play the fiddle at the same time. But I kind of felt that...
Have you ever tried that, Angus?
No, I've never, never, ever even thought about attempting to try that, but I just kind of got the feeling that he's a fantastic musician, but the music was a lot better than the tunes.
Okay, Angles. On that bombshell, shall we say, I'll hand over to Tom.
It's news. It's folk.
What is it, Tom?
It's the Folkie News.
And the Folkie News brought to you this week, as ever, in association with Paddy Bart's Wee Folk Club.
Well, every Sunday night at the Oak, we've got the Wee Folk Club at 8:30. An intimate venue, 30 seats, acoustic. It's a great night out. We've got fantastic musicians and singers. Every Sunday night, do come along.
18th February at the Wee Folk Club. It's the Woody Guthrie night. We covered it last year.
Looking forward to that.
I hope we'll be covering it again. Neil Thompson and friends come together once again for what is fast becoming an annual institution at the Edinburgh folk scene, a tribute to the highly influential Woody Guthrie. Tickets a mere £3 for that.
We know it'll be good.
And that's the Royal Oak, Infirmary Street in Edinburgh. More information available at gardensessions.co.uk. Neil, of course, being our featured artist in episode... No,
19. Episode 19.
And Neil is a great performer, and he'll have some great people along singing with him there. Hopefully Jan Moran will be there.
Without a doubt.
Looking forward to it. Anyway, moving on with the Folkie News. It's Gaelic.
Oh, it's that time again. Angles, are you going?
I am.
It's Knockengorach.
Unless I'm dead.
Round, what is it now? 3 it'll be for us.
Round 3. The battle continues.
It's the first of 2 of the year, though. Bookending the summer nicely.
Yeah, and it begins and ends the summer beautifully, and it's the most beautiful festival you can imagine, set in a valley in the middle of nowhere, beautiful river, rolling hills.
As we hit the run-up to the festival, I'm sure that we'll be playing a few clips from last year's Knockengorachs, both Kellycall and Hearth.
Yeah, they were amazing events, and this one promises to be just as good. The 2007 lineup has been announced. The Outdoor Folkie Festival is set to take place from Friday the 18th May to Sunday the 20th. The lineup this year will include Shugal Nifty, brilliant band.
Nifty, yeah.
We ran into Luke of Shugal Nifty, the mandolin player with them, down at the Toby Level Cider Festival.
Yeah.
Lunasa are playing.
The only man who can look cool playing a mandolin. So
yeah,
they say.
He can look cool playing a mandolin. Lunasa, another great folky band. The Tannahill Weavers and Vos del Sur. To name but a few of the acts that will be on there. And for more information on that, look up knockengorach.org.uk. The Danny Kyle Open Stage Award 2007. This is just wrapping up the Celtic Connections stuff. The level of talent on show at the 16 concerts, which are held in the exhibition hall of the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, was extremely high. The 6 winners of the Danny Kyle Open Stage 2007 are the Roonies from Mayo Bridge in Northern Ireland. Hopefully not related at all to the repugnant football player.
Controversial, too.
They consist of Sheila Rooney, vocals, whistle and bran, Linda Rooney, whistle and flute, Stephen Rooney, guitar, vocals and banjo, Sinead Rooney, vocals, whistle and accordion, Danielle Rooney on fiddle, and Eamon Rooney on bodhrán and concertina.
That's a whole lot of Roonies.
Good God, the Roonies have been productive. And that kind of pretty much brings Celtic Connections to an end for another year. Tonight, Michael Mara at Leith Folk Club.
I'm excited. Should be a good gig.
And it's very likely to be sold out, so book now if you've got time. Michael is possibly Scotland's most talented original songwriter. Anyone who has witnessed his solo shows will testify to his talent to entertain.
Tom, I hear tell he's got a support act as well.
Oh, we didn't really want to just big ourselves up, Angles.
No.
Lords of the Bothy, I believe, playing in the Leith Folk Club tonight,
featuring Frank Burkitt. So
I'm terrified about that. But anyway.
Tom's had to learn to play guitar standing up.
Yeah,
we're literally just
standing up isn't fun.
As soon as we finish this, we're straight out the door, pretty much.
Through his combination of humour and thought-provoking lyrics, Michael Mara offers insights into the human condition.
He is one of the greats of the folk scene.
He was Composer of the Year finalist at the Scots Trad Music Awards in 2005, and is always on demand. A perfect chance to enjoy this unique performer in the intimate surroundings of the village, ironing board included. And so see the leithfolkclub.com for more on that. Final piece of folky news for you. Chris Drever walks away with the Horizon Award at the BBC 2007 Folk Awards ceremony held in London on the 5th of February.
And a little tidbit of insider folky knowledge, if you want to see the award statue for that, it's on display behind the bar at the Royal Oak.
Brilliant.
The grand old opera folk.
So well done to Chris for that.
But there's serious lasers that get put into place after closing hours, so, you know, because it's quite sought after.
You'd have to do some kind of obscure moonwalk to get through.
A folky moonwalk.
And have off with Chris's award. He also played with living legend Roseanne Cash and Chris from Nickel Creek, credentials.
Indeed.
And a nomination for the best traditional track. It completed a successful night. Keep up to date with all the latest folky news at gardensessions.co.uk/news. That's the folky news.
And Angles. It's that time again, and I understand this is one crazy chart you've got for us this week.
It is. We've got 2 new entries, and we've got 3 re-entries.
I can't wait any longer. Re-entries, yeah.
Give us my music then.
Yeah.
The official Garden Sessions download chart. The official Garden Sessions download chart.
At 10, it's down 2 for Rantum Scantum with Hush. At 9, it's the first of our re-entries for 4 Chords and the Truth with All Men Fall in Love.
Yeah.
At 8, it's down 7 for Frank Burkitt featuring Cassandra Steele with Military Band.
Oh, finally!
I'll play along with all of my might while I think about you crossing off those days and nights, and with every gunshot and blast, I think, will you be flying your flag at half mast?
At 7, it's down 1 for Andy Chung in the Wee Room. At 6, it's the second re-entry for Behold the Field of Megaliths.
They're back.
You can't get rid of them.
Thanks, Dave.
They're like an infection. At 5, it's a new entry for John Dignam with Diamonds.
There are diamonds. There are diamonds. There are diamonds over the ford.
Good to see John Dignam back in.
Yeah, great
Indeed
song.
it is. At number 4, it's a new entry for 4 Chords and the Truth with Bonnie Susie Cleland, The Wedding Reel, Hannah's Reel, and
yes.
MacArthur's Road. That's a song
yeah,
that
man.
takes longer to name than it does to sing.
I don't know.
At 3, it's down 1 for Frank Burkitt again with Old Timer.
He's all over this chart.
At 2, it's up 2 for Andy Chung with The Penny Falls. And at number 1, I'm going to give you some clues.
Okay.
It's the 3rd time it's dropped out of the chart and the 3rd time it's come back in.
And gone to number 1.
And gone to number 1.
Oh, it can't be.
Oh, no.
And the first
Not
time
again.
it was at number 1 was in September last year.
Oh, no.
I think you've got it. It's a re-entry for Sinead Connolly with Eileen Oak.
Eileen Oak, and that's me darling name, is through the barony. Her features there were famous, and if you loved her, who was there to blame us? Wasn't she the pride of Patrivore? Beauty made us all so shy, and not a man could look her in the eye. Boys, oh boys, sure that's the reason why I'm mourning for the bride of Patrivore. Eileen Oak, my heart has grown grey ever since the day you wandered far away. Eileen Oak, there's good for so they say, but there's none of them like the bride of Patrivore. Friday at the fair of Ballintor, pride of Patravor. Eileen Og, my heart is going grey ever since that day you wandered far away. Eileen Og, there's good for so they say, but there's none like the pride of Patravor. So it went, as was in the beginning. Eileen Og was bent upon the winning. Big McGrath contentedly was grinning, being courted by the pride of Patravor. Says he, I know a girl who could knock you in the fits. At this, Eileen, she merely was to wits. The upshot of the notion was that now the robber sits with his arm around the pride of Patravor. Eileen Og, my heart is going grey ever since the day you wandered far away. Eileen Og, there's good for so they say, but there's none like the pride of Patravor. Wise, oh wise, his fair is hard to grapple of my eyes. Eileen was the apple, now to see her walk into the chapel, the hardest pictured man in Patravor. Wise, oh wise, is all I have to say. When you do your courting, make no display. If you want them to run after you, just walk the other way, for they're mostly like the pride of Patravor. Eileen Og, my heart is grown grey ever since that day you wandered far away. Eileen Og, there's good for so they say, but there's none of them like the pride of Patravor.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, back again.
Who'd have thought that that was going to happen? Well, to be honest, he could have predicted it.
I thought we'd gotten rid of all the masters. I thought we had a burning, we buried a couple, we threw a couple off a cliff, we shot a couple into space, but it keeps coming back.
It's still out there.
That's just an air of inevitability about it.
At Sinead Connolly, Eileen Og, this week's official Garden Sessions #1. But it has been so many times
and a great
before.
song.
It's a fantastic song and a fantastic
and the most
rendition.
beautiful voice on the Edinburgh folk scene, or formerly of the Edinburgh folk scene.
Indeed. Because we're on the jesting, of course, when we're saying that we... Well, I think Angles did shoot a few of the masters into space, but that was his own project. I don't know what that was all about. Angles, who are we going to hear next?
We're going to hear a little bit from Nick Cook. Now, I didn't really know much about Nick Cook before we got a hold of these recordings, so I've been reading up on a bit of the bio.
What?
As you do.
Reading up on the bio.
Yeah, as you do.
Suddenly just found myself in a bar.
Yeah. What?
But I'm trying one has to keep up with the parlance of the times, Tom.
So, you did a bit of research.
I did a bit of research on Nick Cook. I had a look at the website.
Well, we know what he's called. That's
that kind
not
of
an
stuff.
issue.
And basically, he seems to have this sort of story of pure folk credentials from knee-high to a grasshopper. Apparently, his father got him into folk music through having people just stay at the house. People like John Martin, Steve Tilson, Dave Evans, stuff like that. You know, proper folky credentials kind of stuff.
That's pretty good credentials.
And then, as so many tend to do in his teenage years, he descended into horrible sort of synth bands and awful kinds of music where you have to actually plug things in to play.
It's a rite of passage which you needn't take.
Yeah, but which to be fair, we all have taken.
Yeah,
we have.
We
went through it. But he's back onto pure folk now and listening to all sorts of kinds of stuff and picking up influences from wherever he can get them. As I say, according to the bio.
Oh, don't say the word, Angus.
You hate it, don't you? You hate the fact that I've got my finger on the pulse.
Yes, Angus. What's the song called?
This song's called Mistaken.
And you're listening to the Garden Sessions. Gardensessions.co.uk. Podcast at gardensessions.co.uk.
Except for the world spinning, I was all alone. From that hilltop high, I was looking out to sea. And I thought I saw you out there, sailing home to me. There was a breeze blowing across those ancient hills, and the noise it was making lay you so still. And from that hilltop high, I was looking out to sea, and I thought I heard you out there singing out loud. Was I mistaken? Was I mistaken? As the sun went down and the shadows grew long, and the stars came out and they turned their sweet magic on. And from that hilltop high, I was looking out to sea. And I thought I saw you out there, shining out bright. Was I mistaken? Was I mistaken? As the darkness came around and turned me away, long for another time, yes, I long for another day. And from that hilltop high, I was looking out to sea, and I thought I felt you out there, praying hard. Was I mistaken? Was I mistaken?
That was Nick Cook, Mistaken. Fantastic tune. And if you want more information about where you can find more about Nick Cook, his website, his MySpace, etc., go to gardensessions.co.uk/podcast, and there'll be links to all the music you've heard on this show. Good tune, though. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it's a great tune. Really chilled, really nice stuff.
But Angles, we've been very good, and we haven't taunted you at all.
You haven't. We
haven't goaded you.
No, you've not. You've been good boys. You've waited patiently.
As patiently as we can, Angles.
Yeah.
What's your angle this week?
My angle this week is a song called Jock, Stewart, being performed by Four Chords and the Truth.
is Jock Stewart. I'm a canny young man and a roving young fellow. I've been so easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. I cares all land, I may not command. Whatever I say, they will do. So easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. So easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. Well, I took out my dog for tissue, down by the banks of the Tay. So easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. So come fill up your glasses with brandy and wine. Whatever it costs, I will pay. So be easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. So be easy and free. When you're drinking with me, I'm a man you don't meet every day.
That was Four Chords and the Truth, singing Jock Stewart. Dave, what's your angle?
Well, basically, the song is Jock Stewart explaining all about his life. So he starts off.
Who is Jock Stewart?
Jock Stewart's just a dude.
Is he a canny young man?
He is.
And a roving young fellow to boot.
Yeah, indeed. So
how would you define a roving young fellow as a folk genius angle?
Well, a roving young fellow, obviously, Tom, as it suggests in the plain English language of the text, is a young fellow who roves around.
So a
don't
person
be pedantic with me. What does this roving entail? Give us an idea.
Well,
Angus, you're basically saying that it refers to anyone who can walk.
No, it's a bit more complicated than that, right? Basically, your roving young fellow implies that he's kind of carefree, possibly homeless, or at least doesn't have anywhere to be tied down to, and he is travelling around, making his way in the world and experiencing the wonderful life that is the travelling way.
I could take umbrage with this, but I won't.
Okay.
So
that's who Jock Stewart is.
Right.
That's who Jock Stewart is.
Or really just kind of what he likes to do.
And then he goes on to say,
maybe it's just the image he likes to project.
Yeah, is it really him? Is that what Jock Stewart's all about? Maybe he's got a day job.
We'll find out later on in the song. Angles, continue.
Well, he goes on to say, if you're ever in the pub, you're sitting down, we're having a pint, just be easy about it, be free, no need to worry.
Sounds a bit sinister, Angus.
It does. But he says, don't worry, nothing odd going on. I'm just the kind of guy you don't meet every day, so sit down, have a drink, have a chat. I think you might have intentions that we're not hearing about.
If Angus approaches you in a pub and says this, run for the door.
But you see, then he goes on to contradict himself. We find out he's maybe not the roving young fellow.
This is what I was thinking.
Or at least he's really, he says, and a roving young fellow I've been. So he's kind of put all that behind him. Because now he's got acres of land.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't go on to explain.
So he's the landed gentry.
Well, wait a minute. Has he not just got acres of land because that's just he lives in the countryside and that's the joy of the countryside?
No, because he's got men at command as well.
So men at command.
How many?
Whatever I say, they will do.
How many men at command?
It doesn't say. It just says he's got men at command.
So you don't rove with men at command, really.
No.
You rove on your own.
You can't rove with
Exactly.
men at command.
So
Or
he's
with
kind of
maybe
obviously
your lover, like in
he's
D-Swing.
put the roving life behind us, but he doesn't give us any indication
Behind
of
us?
how. Behind him.
Okay.
Sorry, but he doesn't say how. I mean, they could at least go on to explain. You know, I made my fortune, you know, selling turkeys or something. But you know, they don't give you an accurate
No.
game plan for making your fortune and becoming landed gentry.
Anyway,
Jock Stewart managed
I bet
it.
he got it by subterfuge.
Subterfuge, you think? Backhandedness and other such dirty dealings. Well, maybe because he's got a dark side to him, does Jock Stewart? Because you know he's sitting there on his big pile of land with his men doing whatever he tells them, and one day he decides that he'll take his dog out.
Ah, nice.
Just for a nice wee walk.
No.
What
else
could it be, Hank?
No, you think, you know, acres of land, he's going out for a nice wee walk with his dog, but no, he's going out with his dog to shoot it.
To shoot it?
Why?
I don't know.
Wait,
Look-
hold on. You don't have a verse in a song about shooting a dog and not explain why.
Well, there isn't an explanation in the song, but it is an old Irish song, an old Irish ballad, which was adapted by Aberdonians and turned into a drinking song. So I think that might be kind of where it lost the point of
Didn't
shooting the
Archie
dog.
Fisher record it at some point?
He did. He recorded a version of it, slightly modified. This version is slightly modified in that the dog didn't get shot originally.
No, wait a minute. No. Hold on. So Archie Fisher didn't shoot the dog?
No.
Regardless of whether or not it's Irish or Scottish, it still doesn't explain why someone would take their dog out and just shoot it for the shits and giggles.
Maybe it wasn't for the shits and giggles.
This has got
maybe
to be one of the
maybe
oddest
the
lines.
maybe the dog had peed in the kitchen or something.
Yeah, but you don't put it in a song and not explain why.
Well, apparently you do.
If you were writing a song, Angles...
Well, I didn't write the song.
If you were writing a song and you had a line in it about someone shooting their dog, you would explain why.
I would, yes.
Yes.
Maybe he just wants to appear to be a hard ass.
With listeners as well. Podcast at gardensessions.co.uk. If you were writing a song and in that song, one of the lyrics was you wanted to shoot your dog, would you explain why?
And can you suggest any reason why the dog might deserve shooting?
The best answer will win a CD.
They'll win a copy of Barach's latest album, Unstoppable.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's a good album.
There you go.
Worth
Why
having.
not? Why not?
Podcast at gardensessions.co.uk.
That's how crazy we are. We're just throwing prizes into the mix.
We are
throwing
indeed.
them into the mix.
Sod the egg cups, sod the toast rack, sod the t-shirts, CDs.
Yep, Barach Unstoppable. Best suggestions for why Jock Stewart shot his dog.
Yeah. But then Jock goes on to explain that, no, it's okay. You know, he may be a vicious, dog-murdering gentleman, but it's okay if you're ever drinking with him. Don't worry. Just be easy about it, and it'll all be fine. And I think I've kind of lost him by this point. You know, if I'm in the pub and someone's telling me about how he's just shot his dog and isn't giving me any reason, I'm a bit worried. And then he says, so, you know, fill your glasses with brandy or wine or whatever happens to be your tipple, and whatever it costs, don't worry, I'll pay. You know, because when you're drinking with me, it's all fine, no worries. So long as you don't have a dog.
I remember when this song was recorded in the Bothy, and Chris of Four Chords and the Truth's take on the song was that he thought that Jock Stewart was a bit of a sad guy. He just needed to kind of like buy friends, you know, and he was kind of a bit sick of his gentry life and was just sort of in the local pubs trying to sort of buy friends by buying them shed loads of drink.
With very little success.
I think that's a bit nice to Jock Stewart. I think that kind of makes him seem like a kind of a pitiable individual. Almost lets him get away with it somehow. I think maybe he's just
get away with what? Shooting his dog.
I think it's a let off for Jock Stewart to say that he's sad and needs to buy friends because he can't get them in the other way. I think he's trying to cover up his evil tendencies.
No, right.
By plying everyone with beer.
Angles, we're flogging a dead horse here. Come on.
Dead dog, perhaps.
Well, point made.
If a boy came up to me in a pub and bought me a drink, I'd say fair enough. I'd take a drink, you know, take a pint of Guinness. But then if he just started saying, "The day I shot my dog," you know, I would just get a bit distressed.
Well, no, I don't think
disturbed.
I wouldn't. I'd say, "Oh, Goodness, that's harsh news. Dave, what's the moral?
The moral of this story, as far as I'm concerned, is no matter what you do, even if you shoot your dog, as long as you apply everyone with enough booze, they won't remember.
Dave, is that your angle?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Dave, your angles, they never cease to amaze. But before we go to our featured artist this week, which has a little twist to it, and I think it's associated with the next feature, which is the lettuce bag. Angles, you've got a letter there.
Yes, I do. And it says, Dear Garden Sessions, I'm an avid listener and have been since the early days.
Ah, the old days.
Yeah, indeed. Though I tried to listen to every episode, I never caught episode 3. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's now unavailable. I've heard Martin Boland before and was disappointed to miss it as he was the featured artist. How can I get a hold of episode 3 and any chance of hearing Martin again? And that's from Heather in Stockport.
Jack?
Well, normally in these sorts of situations, when people email us asking for stuff, we'll sort them out with the episode somehow or other. But in this case, we thought, it would be quite good just to hear Martin's featured artist.
And we've had a few requests. This is only one of a pile.
So we thought we'd hear it again. A treat for all Garden Sessions listeners who missed it the first time round. Almost a year ago, although, a couple of months short of a year ago. This is the Garden Sessions featured artist slot with Martin Boland. I'll hand over to myself back in May, downstairs at the Oak. Well, I'm sat downstairs in the Royal Oak, one of Edinburgh's main folk pubs, and I'm with one of Edinburgh's foremost folk singer-songwriters. When he's not travelling the country performing, he can often be found in here, in the Royal Oak, leading their much-acclaimed folk sessions. Martin Boland, it's good to have you with us.
It's good to be here, Jack.
First question I'm going to ask is, what was the road that brought you to this point, i.e. playing in the Oak and touring around the country and so on? Was it a specific moment or a gradual process which happened?
Well, 14 years ago, I'd been playing in Dundee part-time. I was working as a nurse, and I had the usual relationship breakdown. I ended up in Edinburgh. I gave up playing for a while, and then discovered here. Really, this is the Royal Oak. The sessions in here at that time were run by Neil Thompson, who's still here. I was like 14 years on, and it kind of rekindled my interest in music again.
What was the first song that you learned, or written, whichever came first?
The first few songs that I played were actually hymns when I was 16. As one of my songs, So Long Since, kind of tells the story of that. The guy that taught me to play guitar ended up quite a sad end, but he was an amazing character.
That's a song which we've played previously on the Garden Sessions. How do you find the Oak as a venue, I don't know, compared to the rest of the places in Edinburgh or around Scotland?
It's one of the very few places where acoustic music is played without a PA. We very much play it in the rough, and for those of us who run sessions, it can be quite hard work. The job really is to include other people.
We're going to come now to your first song that you've chosen for us to listen to, which is Sober and Dry from your album Dreams in Blue. Why did you choose this song?
Again, this is a co-write, and this is one of the very few times I actually wrote the riff first. If you listen, there's a fairly complicated guitar part in it, which is quite unusual for me because I usually strip it all down when I'm singing. And I wrote the riff first, and the phrases just kind of fitted in. And I took it along to my co-writer, one of my co-writers, Tom Fairney, and he assumed it was autobiographical. So in the song I appear to give myself a right doing, but that's actually Tom. So I was going through a fairly rough patch at the time. So that's really Tom's take on where I am, or where I was at that particular moment in time. So it's actually purely fictional, the song, but hopefully it'll apply to somebody.
Well, here it is, Eddie. We'll listen to it now. This is Martin Boland, Sober and Dry, from his album Dreams in Blue.
The older I get more to forget. True friends and fakes, stupid mistakes I still make. Songs I believed would come and save me. I live by those songs. Maybe they're wrong,
they're only songs. All that I know is all that I know. Cash in your pockets, got somewhere to go. Sleeping alone is a whole night too slow, and drinking don't change any of it so. I've looked at my life, sober and dry. I'm a wiser man now, but I still don't know why. Guided by guilt, charging windmills full tilt, gilded with sin, still burnished within, under the skin. All in good time, sour grapes turn to wine, played with some style. I've stolen a mile with a smile. All that I know is all that I know. Cash in your pockets, got somewhere to go. Sleeping alone is a whole night too slow, and drinking don't change any of it so. I've looked at my life, sober and dry. I'm a wiser man now, but I still don't know why. I've looked at my life, sober and dry. I'm a wiser man now, but I still don't know why.
Okay, so that was Sober and Dry from Dreams in Blue, Martin Boland's latest album. You listen to the Garden Sessions. I'm sat in the Royal Oak with Martin at the moment. Martin, as a stalwart of the folk scene, you must have a massive, massive repertoire of songs. I mean,
at the last count, I do several different types of gig. I entertain old people, I do a folk gig, I do a pub set, and I do a concert set. So I've got my own stuff. So I put everything in it. I think I can do at any one time about 700 songs. And any one night, I'll get asked for maybe 40, 50 songs I don't know. You know? Because when you think of the amount of songs that have been written, 700 is nothing. You know?
Do you find it more difficult to remember the lyrics to 700 songs, or the fact that of which songs you actually know?
There's the songs that I know is the hardest thing. I've been writing out lists for years. You know, for the last 20 years I've written out lists of the songs I know. And other people write them out and stick them on the back of their guitar. And I've become so myopic that that's not really any use for me now.
And you're a songwriter as well, obviously, because we've heard one of your songs. Do you find the songwriting process a painful one or a pleasant one?
I find it impossible. But songwriting, I would say songwriting saved my life. I mean, I've been, like most of us, at some time or another. I'm 42 now, I think, or thereabouts. But I write maybe a song a year now. I do a couple of songs a year. I'm much better at writing with another person. I think if you're very sure of your own ideas and writing on your own is great. If you need a little bit of encouragement, then sometimes writing with another person is exactly what's needed. As long as you've both got sufficient hold on your ego that you're not going to end up strangling each other, which can happen.
Do you ever dream of having a song which makes the traditional status, and someday maybe your name isn't even attached to it, but it's out there just being sung in the folk clubs in years to come?
That would be tremendous. Obviously it'd be nice to have money. But in the folk scene, people don't ask your permission before they start singing your songs. They will before they record them, obviously, but it's not nearly so much recorded. It's not done that way. It's done by hearing stuff in folk clubs. It would be very nice to walk into a pub. And once it's happened to me that I did walk into a pub while a guy was singing one of my songs. But it was a guy that I know, and he claimed he'd written it. So he claimed he'd written it. That wasn't quite the same sort of thing, I suppose. But like I say, it's only happened to me once. No, it's happened to me twice. I've heard somebody singing one of mine and thought, and it took quite a while to twig it was one of mine, because other people tend to do things with your meter and your tunes that you wouldn't necessarily do yourself, which is a good thing. It's not a criticism.
Over the years, as you've been writing songs and singing songs, where have you drawn your influences from? That shaped what you perform now?
Well, I would say I like things that are short. Generally speaking, I've got a couple of longer songs, but I like songs which are succinct. This would be my biggest influence would be John Martin, probably guitar-wise and in every way, really. Well, obviously apart from the sheer alcoholism and removal of leg business, but pretty much John Martin for that sort of thing. Crosby, Stills and Nash, Neil Young for, again, directness of point.
A lot of the sort of 60s, 70s type stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. When I grew up, I was learning to play guitar, that stuff was just a few years in front, behind me, and it was all very accessible, and it was very on the radio, and it was very easy to get copies from people and not have to pay for it.
Alas, less accessible these days. But we're going to move on into your second song, which again is from Dreams in Blue. This is called Via Dolorosa. I'm going to talk a wee bit about why I've chosen this song.
This song was written purely because I needed another song for the album. But when I started writing it, again, I don't generally write along the enigmatic kind of lines. I like to write stuff that's fairly bald and in your face, as you will notice if you hear the whole album. This one is a little bit more enigmatic, but it's a wrong relationship song. When I was looking for a title for the album, one of my lady friends said I should call it Secret Shagging Songs. Because quite a lot of it seems to a lot of my stuff deals with that type of side of a relationship. Again, it's not all autobiographical. Via Dolorosa is like that, and you can read that into it. And I like the imagery in it. There's some lovely imagery in it. It's deliberately poetic.
So this is Via Dolorosa from Dreams in Blue.
The road is like a memory. The sunset's like a smear on a watercolor painting that's faded with the years. That was in the old days when the sky was blood and blue. In the days before the darkness, when the roads were always new. And the headlights stretched before you like 1,000 falling stars, drawn by Lucifer from heaven, cut the darkness like a scar, and the emptiness inside you grows like cancer around your heart. For you know now every ending spreads out from each new start. The crossroads keep on coming like a Mardi Gras parade. Your memories are still dancing in that silent masquerade. And the radio's a desert with no comfort for the lost. When there is no crucifixion, there can be no Pentecost. Traffic lights are standing like thieves along the way, stealing in their silence the words you'll never say. And you've got one less tomorrow and one more yesterday. And you've left more love behind you than you gather on the way. And you've left more love behind you than you gather on the way. And you've left more love behind you than you gather on the way.
That was Via Dolorosa, Martin Boland, from his album Dreams in Blue. I'm sitting here with Martin Boland in the Royal Oak on the Garden Sessions. He's this week's featured artist. Martin has a belief amongst a lot of people, these days anyway, I say a lot of people, some people, that folk music is dead or dying, or at least has been since rock and pop has kind of taken its place for a lot of people.
Oh, I think, traditional music certainly has its place and will always be found by those who want to listen to. It's like old poetry, and particularly old songs, and the songs are so long because they didn't have television. Stories were told through song, and so the picture's painted very, very often so that you've got a very clear picture of what's going on. The reason that particularly English songs, they repeat the one verse all the time, that was done so the storyteller could remember where he was. It's all very clever stuff. But now, folk music as such, what is it? I'll in my cell happily sing lots of stuff that's been written in the last 30 years that have kind of fallen into the folk repertoire. They're not folk songs. I sing Luca by Suzanne Vega regularly, and that's a song, it's one of the very few songs that have been written about child abuse that don't make you vomit. Yeah. There's a big move back towards the acoustic music scene just now, and I think people begin with the acoustic music scene and what's on. Then if they maybe join a music library, they might fall into folk music there because it's acoustic. And there's places like the Oak, there's a lot of open mics happening, and they're helpful.
Okay, so we're closing in on the end of our time here with Martin. He's about to start his session in the Oak, but before he heads off to do that, I'm going to give us one tune. Martin, what are you going to play for us?
Well, this is absolutely an exclusive, because I've never recorded this before. Tom Fairney has. There's three of us sat down to write a Burns-type modern pastoral song, which turns to it's all about sex, basically. Which a lot of Burns songs were anyway.
Well, thanks very much, Martin, for joining us. It's been good having you with us. You're going to play us out with?
It's in the turnover time. If I could see you when the snow lies down by Willow Bank and Burnside, I would taste you as the snow melts on my tongue, and in the turning of our time, or in the scented breath of sweet spring, amidst the primrose and the columbine, I would bind you as the blood unto the thorn, and in the turning of our time, and if our time could turn again, if our time could turn again, turn the stars to salt and sand, turn them back by heaven's hand, turn the raven into dove, turn this longing into love. If I could hear you in the ash grove, where Mavis song and leaves lie, loving words would find a pure and nameless voice in the turning of our time. Or I might hold you when the day ends, curved within its slow and falling line, a river stretching free from icy winter sleep, and in the turning of our time,
And if our time could turn again, if our time could turn again, turn the stars to salt and sand, turn them back by heaven's hand, turn the raven into love, turn this longing into love, in the turning of our time, in the turning of our time.
Martin Boland, one of the Garden Sessions' first ever featured artists, and that's in the turning of our time, recorded live in the Royal Oak.
The Great Belando.
The Great Belando. There's more music you can hear from Martin on www.gardensessions.co.uk. There's several free songs to download, completely free, unbelievably so, and also there's a whole bundle of other stuff that you can buy of Martin's, £1 a download, I believe. It's all at gardensessions.co.uk.
Podcast.
That's it.
I'm looking forward. This show's been so easy, man. I'm looking forward to next week's already.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. What is there in line?
I believe we're going to have a final sort of roundup of the Celtic Connections stuff. Kind of
even more
the best of the Celtic Connections, plus some unheard, as of yet unheard footage from the festival.
Well, I should look forward to that.
Yes.
Should be good.
What else will be going on? Angles.
Usual stuff. Folkie news. Dave's Angle will have a featured artist again, and letters bag, all that kind of thing.
If you want to keep up with anything that's going on, Folkie news, etc., Dave's Angles will be up on the website at some point. Dave, pull your finger out. Come on.
I heard you'd been hassled by
Quite
email.
I have.
It's it really outrages me that people are hassling you at angles@gardensessions.co.uk about this, because
well, to be honest, I did promise Jack that they'd be up, that I'd get them all to him, but he doesn't quite understand the mammoth task that it is.
I do understand what a mammoth task it is.
Jack's put a website together and I've gone on a folk odyssey.
I've asked you to do a section of the website.
You've asked me to write 3,000 words.
Yes, Angles, that's exactly what I've asked you. It grows by the week, though, Angles. It's more and more work for every week that you don't do it, because another angle is added to the pile. That's gardensessions.co.uk. Anyway, contact us at podcast@gardensessions.co.uk. Don't forget, if you contact us and your letter is featured on the letters bag, you will win a Garden Sessions t-shirt, much coveted. Oh yes. Plus, we also have a prize this week for the angle.
Yeah. If you can think of a good reason, the best reason why Jock Stewart shot his dog, then you will get Barack's Unstoppable,
a
winging
fantastic
its way
album
to you.
from Burkitt and Records, by the way. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Tom and I are off to practice our guitar and singing.
And standing up.
And Angles, are you coming along?
I might make it.
Right, well, I'll tell you what, let's get some tea on and get down to some work. Till next time, I'm Jack Foster. Cheerio from Tom Harland, Dave the Angles Gimble.
Catch you later down the Folkie Trail.
Cheery bye.